Hey, I want to let y'all know I'm not with Donald Trump no more. I don't support him. I don't like him. I think he's a corrupted leader. And, yeah, it took me a while to come to that conclusion, but I finally am coming to it. I do not like the guy at all.
You know what? I think we ought to normalize letting people change their mind, admit you're wrong. I love it. I love to see it.
The first thing for me was he didn't release the Epstein files.
He's a pedophile.
Like they didn't exist.
That's something.
And then, of course, they're sending Israel and Ukraine all of our tax dollars, just like the numbnuts before him did. Putting America last. And now he's blaming the beef farmers for the price of beef. Hey, I'm not biased, man. He talked a good game. He tricked me. I was fooled. I admit it. Okay, now let me tell you how bad I think this is, though. This is really this bad, guys. I want you, if you're
where is he going with this?
I want you to get into Revelation 13:3, and I want you to read that verse. Yeah, about the Antichrist, about the one who was fatally wounded in the head. Then he was miraculously healed, and the whole world marveled at him and said, no man can make war with him. Yeah, I do think that Donald Trump is that beast of Revelation.
All right. So he told me to go read Revelation 13. So me and old Grok put together. Listen, nothing else works. With all you MAGA Republicans, the only thing you guys care about is religion. So here we are. Let's analyze the literal text of Revelation 13:3. And let's be shocked and awed at how closely Donald Trump aligned. It is kind of, listen, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. Well, I guess I do want to be a conspiracy, because here we go. Listen. So, Revelation 13:3. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So, you know what? It is so interesting. Like, you could twist almost anything to kind of fit within Revelation 13:3. And I remember in the 90s, like, people saying, oh, Bill Clinton is the Antichrist. George W. Bush is the Antichrist. And then it was like Obama's the Antichrist, right? But let me just tell you something. This is pretty close, man. Look, the beast from the sea is often interpreted as a political leader emerging from chaotic global affairs. And let me tell you, the last decade, global affairs have been quite chaotic. But not only that, I mean, the internal politics of America has been very chaotic, right? You know, the chaotic waters of American politics in 2016, it was chaotic, right? But also the beast from the sea, Mar-a-Lago. Mar literally means sea. So he lives at Mar-a-Lago by the sea. He rises from chaotic waters. The 7 heads could symbolize his multiple business empires or political alliances. You know, like with Putin and Netanyahu, I tend to think of not even the G7 so much, although that does kind of make sense, right? Because it's like, you know, 7 heads and 10 horns, like G7, but just NATO, you know, and I don't think it necessarily has to fit like 1-to-1, but just the fact that like he's the most powerful king in NATO. Hey, and the name blasphemy ties to Trump's self-aggrandizing titles, such as calling himself the chosen one or king of Israel. But you know, so he has called himself the king of Israel, sort of like an inverse of Christ, the Antichrist, because Christ made sure not to call himself a king, but Trump is trying to literally be a king, and he called himself the king of Israel. I'm just saying. And yeah, so let's move on. Verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat in great authority. Okay, no, you know, when I read this, the first thing I think about is Donald Trump's personality, more so than like any sort of link 1-to-1. But I like this take. It says, the composite beast draws from Daniel 7's empires, where like the leopard was Greece, and the bear was Persia, and the lion was Babylon, right? And then suggesting a leader empowered by satanic forces. Yeah, but I think that Trump's is like the leopard is the speed at which he's destroyed American institutions, the speed at which he's making himself like, Augustus Caesar. And, his foreign policies, of course, which is the trade wars, but his mouth was like the mouth of a lion. So his mouth as the mouth of a lion is his incredible charisma, using his words so aggressively, right? Now, the dragon is speculated to be hidden influences like global elites. But listen, the dragon could mean anything. To me, the dragon is the United States. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. The dragon is us, the people of the United States. And in some ways, that is us being satanic. I know it. Look, let's just flow with it, okay? Because if you go with the dragon being the people of America, we are the ones who gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. Let's move on. Verse 3. And I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. To me, it's clearly he survived an assassination. Everybody thought he was dead, and when he got up, he did that like fist pump thing, right? This is him suffering a deadly wound, but being healed. So that was a Butler assassination in Pennsylvania. Now, Bryce Mitchell said that Trump deceived him, just like, earlier in Revelation or throughout Revelation, it talks about how the Antichrist will deceive. Even the most elite will be deceived by him. Very interesting. Verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? And who is able to make war with him? Now, worship of the beast and dragon implies a cult-like devotion. And some people say like the floor for Donald Trump is 30% of the country. Like they're literally in a cult. Like Trump can commit crime after crime. It doesn't matter what he does. I mean, unless he hurts them personally, they will stick with him no matter what. It's worship. So they worshiped him. Phrases like who is like Trump. No, other things too. Trump has even said like, I'm the only one that can save everybody, right? I'm the only one that can fix things. And people believe him. So they're worshiping him almost like a god, So the dragon could be enablers like Elon Musk or foreign allies, but I don't think so. Again, I think the dragon are the people. So insofar as some of the people are more powerful and they can give him power, there you go. So Elon Musk and foreign allies, it makes sense, but I think just the people who worship him are the dragon. Verse 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. That's his term. 42 months is 3.5 years. I mean, that's basically how long presidents serve, 4 years. And verse 6, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. Now, see, all right, so he's made a mockery of Christianity in this country, because everything Trump and Trumpism stands for is like an antichrist, whereas Christ cared about the meek and the poor and the humble. Trump has disdain for those people. He calls them suckers and losers. All the poor people of America who support Trump hates those guys. And everything he does is for the ultra elite, the super rich. So in a lot of ways, he is an anti-Christ. So when he speaks, it's like blaspheming Christ. And then his 2020 church photo op desecrated God's tabernacle, tear gassing protesters for a staged Bible hold. So this is, like even attacking Pope Francis. So all of this is blaspheming against God. Verse 7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Now, power was given to him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. I take this multiple ways. I take it like, he's using his tariffs to bludgeon the world and using American hegemony to bludgeon and threaten the world. Even attacking Iran, potentially invading Venezuela. He has all sorts of economic and military power soft and military power. So now, as far as January 6th, the saints, believe it or not, are the Democrats. Because the Democrats are the ones who, in this current political realm, is doing everything that Christ would be doing, right? Trying to help the poor, trying to help the sick, trying to help everyone. So in this particular case, the saints are the Democrats. Now, I am biased, but I like that view. I like that point of view. Now, verse 8, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Global worship. He's an international cult of personality. And everybody worships is an interesting word because he does have his worshipers, but you'll hear Christians even saying oh, he is sent by God, or he is some avatar of God sent to do good things, even if he lives a horrible life, which, by the way, his life has been the life of an antichrist, from everything he's done, the pedophilia, the multiple wives, murdering people now, just murdering people in Venezuela. So besides the wars so his life is the life of the inverse of Christ. Okay. So number 9, if any man have an ear, let him hear. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Wake up, listen, pay attention. 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Be patient. All you saints, be patient, because his time will come. Because if you imprison people, you'll be in prison. If you are murdered, you'll be murdered. So, just be patient. His time will come. At least that's according to Revelation 13:10. All right. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So the second beast is the false prophet. Now, I don't think it's J.D. Vance or Elon Musk. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I think it's the media. The media, the multiple, like Fox News and stuff like that. I think that they're the ones who, because what did John the Baptist do for Jesus? He proclaimed his coming. And what has the media done for Trump? They've spread his message all over the world, almost like a living disciple almost. All right. But it could be Elon Musk, right? Who knows? I don't think so. It might be J.D. Vance, but I don't think so. Okay. Verse 12. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwelled with therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So this is the false prophet, right? So the false prophet causes the earth to worship the beast. Okay, I don't think it's his enablers. I think it's the media. That the media is causing the world to worship him through giving him constant attention. And insofar as I'm the media, then I guess I'm doing it in a weird way by posting a YouTube video on this guy. All right, verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So his miracles deceive people. So warp speed, the vaccines, getting the vaccines out quickly, his military displays. I have a different interpretation. Fire comes down from heaven, missiles like those dropped on Iran, or the drones that we're using to kill random people, right? Or even the missiles that Israel is firing on the people of Gaza. So I think it's that. I think it's very simple. I think that is his military is doing great wonders. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. That's him. And what is he doing right now? He's tearing down the east wing of a White House to build a ballroom. He's going to build the Arc de Triomphe, on the Capitol. So all he does is try to self-promote his image. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. The image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would worship the image of the beast should be killed. I mean, he makes all these AI videos and posts them on Truth Social. Like, this is him creating an image unto the beast. So, and killed is metaphorically, right? Cancel. Or now we're taking it a step further because he's arresting protesters, right? Violating First Amendment. But he's actually using AI as a tool and a weapon now. Now, the last three hasn't happened yet, but it might be on its way, especially with the whole Real ID stuff. And, I could definitely see Palantir or Musk enacting these next three, which is verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man may buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. 16 and 17. So, I think it's just digital IDs. I think that maybe perhaps one day it'll be internalized into us, but it doesn't need to be. Our cell phones are acting like the mark of the beast already, because we have everything linked in here. The mark could just be credit cards, right? I don't know exactly what this means, but if we were to take that literally, then that could be Elon Musk, brain thing where, you put the chip in the brain. You could use that for all sorts of weird reasons, So no man may buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast. So that's economic control, like tariffs, digital currency. Like him and his family are big into cryptocurrency. So it might, I wouldn't be surprised that by the end of this second term, that we switch to a cryptocurrency, especially if the world rejects the dollar. I'm not predicting any of that. I know that sounds insane. This whole thing sounds crazy. But since we're sounding crazy anyway, we might as well go whole hog, right? Finally, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. 666. Trump's 666 Fifth Avenue address, and in Gematria, which is the ancient language of the Hebrews, Donald J. Trump equals 666. Now, I did some research into this, and it doesn't. But everyone says it does, but it doesn't quite match. But anyway, the birth date ties 6/14/1946, 666. So, Bryce, I did it, man. I went deep. I went deep like you told me to, man.
13:3. Yeah, go man that's ever walked the planet that fits Revelation 13:3.
Not another man on the planet.
And read the rest of the chapter.
Current. But they say that about every president. They say that about popes, Donald Trump is probably not the Antichrist. Spoiler alert, he's probably not. But listen, if that works on you MAGA Christians, read Revelation 13:3. Whatever you have to do to divorce yourself, to snap out of the cult-like following that you guys have with Donald Trump, do it. Please. I'm begging you. Let me put it, he's not Christ. Even if he's not the Antichrist literally, and if you're religious, he's not Christ. So what is he? What could he be? He's not some angel or saint sent down from heaven, okay? So listen, if that works on you Christians, we did a deep dive. I broke down all of Revelation 13:3 for you guys. Please leave a like, comment, tell me your thoughts. Is Donald Trump the Antichrist? If he isn't the Antichrist, who is? And even if he isn't the Antichrist, hasn't he lived the life of an inverse Christ? Everything he talks about, everything he does is the exact opposite of what Christ would do. Just think about it. All right, listen, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance.